Only the most terrifying humans dared to stand against the unstoppable Zorgan war machine as it consumed the galaxy in flames. The spineless fools in the Galactic Council sat on their hands while the Zorgan enslaved planet after planet after planet. Ambassador Sirius slammed his fist on the table, his deep blue Noren skin flushing purple with rage. Zephyr, his young aide, shifted nervously. Perhaps we could seek aid from the Eldari or Quarry. Surely they would not stand idle, he suggested. Sirius scoffed. Those isolationist snobs care nothing for the plight of lesser races, and the Quarry are too busy squabbling amongst themselves. No, we have no allies to turn to. An urgent ping interrupted them. Sirius activated the holo display, his yellow eyes widening as he read the message. By the stars, the Zorgan have invaded Maluia. The Council is gathering a defense fleet, but his voice trailed off, the unspoken truth hanging in the air. Any help would arrive far too late. The peaceful Malians, known across the galaxy for their miraculous medical technology, would fall to Zorgan butchery long before reinforcements could reach them. Their once gleaming cities would be reduced to ashes, and the greatest minds of the age would end up in Zorgan slave pits or graves. Sirius clenched his jaw, shoulders sagging as if under a great weight. Was this how it ended? Were the Zorgan truly unstoppable, or did one slim hope yet remain? A last, desperate roll of the dice that might save Maluia and just maybe the galaxy? The old ambassador turned to his aide, his voice heavy with grim finality. Send word to Earth. Tell the humans we need their help. The console pinged again, drawing Sirius and Zephyr's attention from their dire musings. Sirius accepted the message, his brow furrowing in confusion as he read the sender's name, the United Terran Federation. I've only heard whispers about these humans. What could they possibly want with us? Zephyr leaned in, his curiosity piqued. I've heard stories about their resourcefulness and tenacity. Perhaps they've caught wind of Maluia's plight. Sirius scanned the message, his skepticism evident in his tone. This Joshua Grant claims they wish to aid in Maluia's defense. But what do we really know of these humans? Rumors paint them as a savage, warlike species constantly at each other's throats. Zephyr, however, saw a glimmer of potential. But think of the tales of their ingenuity, their adaptability. If even half of what I've heard is true, they could be a valuable ally. We should at least hear what they have to say. Sirius sighed, weighing the options. With Maluia's fate hanging in balance, could they afford to turn away any offer of help, even from an unknown quantity like the humans? Reluctantly, he composed a reply inviting Joshua Grant to a meeting to discuss the proposed assistance. When the human diplomat arrived, Sirius found himself taken aback by his appearance. Unlike the tall, lithe Norans, Joshua was compact and muscular, with pale skin and dark hair. Despite his alien features, he carried himself with a confident air as he greeted the ambassador. Thank you for agreeing to meet with me, Ambassador Sirius, Joshua began, his voice steady and assured. I understand your reservations about accepting aid from a species you know little about, but I assure you, the UTF is committed to stopping the Zorgan threat. Sirius leaned forward, his interest piqued despite his initial misgivings. And just how do you propose to do that? The Zorgans have cut through the defenses of far more advanced civilizations like a plasma torch through durasteel. Joshua smiled, a glint of determination in his eye. We've been monitoring the Zorgans closely, studying their tactics and technology, and we've developed some specialized countermeasures of our own. With your permission, we can have a fleet of our most advanced warships in Maluian space within a single rotation. Sirius's eyes widened at the speed of the proposed deployment. Impressive. But what makes you think your ships can fare any better against the Zorgan than those of the Galactic Council races? Our vessels are equipped with state-of-the-art shield technology designed to withstand even Zorgan plasma weaponry, Joshua explained. And our special forces units are trained in infiltration and sabotage. They can breach Zorgan ships and strike at critical systems from within. As Joshua laid out the details of the UTF's plan, Sirius found himself slowly warming to the idea. The humans seemed remarkably well prepared. Clearly had capabilities he hadn't anticipated, and their willingness to step up where the Council had faltered was admirable. Perhaps with the aid of these enigmatic Terrans, Maluia stood a fighting chance. After all, Zephyr too seemed heartened by the humans' words as the meeting drew to a close. He turned to Sirius with a hopeful expression. Maybe this is the lifeline we've been searching for. If the humans can truly do what they claim. As the battle unfolded in real time on the holo display, Sirius and Zephyr watched in awe, in awe as the UTF fleet deftly outmaneuvered the Zorgon armada. The human ships, though fewer in number, seemed to anticipate every move their enemy made, their sleek hulls gracefully evading the onslaught of plasma fire. Look at the way they move, Zephyr marveled, his eyes glued to the screen. It's like they're reading the Zorgon mind. Sirius nodded, unable to tear his gaze away from the display. Their coordination is unlike anything I've ever seen. How do they do it? As if on cue, Joshua Grant's face appeared on a secondary display, a look of determination etched upon his features. Ambassador Sirius, I wanted to give you an update on our progress. Sirius leaned forward, his full attention on the human diplomat. Please go ahead. Our special forces have successfully infiltrated several key Zorgon ships. Joshua reported, pride evident in his voice. They're working to disable the enemy's weapons and engines from within. Zephyr shook his head in disbelief. Your soldiers are incredibly brave, risking their lives for a species they've never even encountered. Joshua smiled, a glint of something unreadable in his eye. That's the thing about humans, Zephyr. We have a saying back on Earth: all it takes for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. We couldn't stand by and watch the Zorgon destroy another innocent civilization. Sirius felt a newfound respect for these enigmatic humans blossoming within him. Your people are truly remarkable, Joshua, but I must ask, how are your ships able to predict the Zorgon every move? The human smile widened, a touch of pride creeping into his voice. That would be thanks to Athena, our most advanced AI system. She has been analyzing the Zoran's tactics and coordinating our fleet's movements to maximize our effectiveness. Zephyr's eyes widened, his voice filled with awe. An AI that can outsmart the Zorgons. That's incredible. Joshua chuckled, the sound tinged with a hint of something darker. Athena is just one of the many technological marvels the UTF has developed, but I assure you she's more than a match for the Zorgon. As the conversation continued, Sirius found himself marveling at the depth of human ingenuity and resolve in the face of an overwhelming threat. They had not only stepped up to defend a complete stranger, but had done so with a level of skill and technology that rivaled the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. Perhaps, he mused, there was more to these humans than met the eye, and if they could truly turn the tide against the Zoran. Sirius's fingers flew across the console, his eyes widening as he read the distress call from Zephyria. He turned to Zephyr, his voice tight with urgency. The Zorgons have launched an attack on Zephyria. They're trying to catch us off guard while we're focused on Maluia. Zeph's face paled, his voice trembling. But the Zirian, they have no defenses. They're a peaceful people focused on agriculture. They won't stand a chance against the Zorgon. Sirius nodded grimly, already opening a channel to Joshua Grant. The human's face appeared on the screen, his brow furrowed with concentration. Joshua, we have a situation. The Zorgon are attacking Ziria. We need to. I'm already on it. Joshua interrupted, his fingers flying over his own console. I'm dispatching a squadron of our AI drones to Ziria now. Sirius blinked in surprise. AI drones? But your fleet is already engaged at Maluia. How can you possibly defend both planets? Joshua smiled, a hint of pride in his voice. We've been holding these drones in reserve. They're equipped with the same Athena AI that's been coordinating our fleet. They can operate independently, adapt to the Zoran's tactics in real time. Zephyr leaned forward, his eyes wide with awe. Autonomous AI drones? That's incredible. Joshua nodded, his attention already back on his console. Athena initiates Ziria Defense Protocol authorization. Grant Alpha 7 on the view screen. Sirius and Zephyr watched as a swarm of sleek silver drones detached from the UTF fleet, streaking towards Ziria at impossible speeds. As the drones entered Zia's orbit, the Zorgon fleet came into view. The hulking enemy ships hung in space like predators, their plasma cannons already glowing with deadly intent. But the drones did not hesitate. They swarmed the Zorgon fleet, moving with a fluid grace that belied their mechanical nature. Plasma fire erupted from the enemy ships, but the drones whoa and dodged, always a hair's breadth ahead of the deadly blasts. And then, as one, the drones struck precise beams of concentrated energy lanced out, targeting the Zorgon ship's engines, weapon systems, shield generators. The enemy vessels shuddered under the onslaught, their hulls buckling and sparking. Sirius and Zephyr watched transfixed as the drones pressed their advantage. In mere minutes, the once fearsome Zorgon fleet was reduced to a collection of drifting, powerless hulks. Joshua's voice broke the stunned silence. Ziria is secure. The Zorgon fleet is in full retreat. Cyrus shook his head in disbelief. I can hardly believe it. Your drones, they made it look easy. Joshua chuckled, but there was a hint of something darker in his voice. Easy, no, but effective. We humans have learned the hard way that sometimes the only way to protect the innocent is to be better at violence than those who would do them harm. Zephyr nodded slowly, a newfound respect dawning in his eyes. And at Maluia, how goes the battle there? Joshua's smile widened. See for yourself. The view screen shifted, showing the space of above Maluia. The UTF fleet, battered but unbroken, hung in formation, while the remnants of the Zorgon armada drifted listlessly, their weapons silent and their engines dark, as Sirius and Zephyr watched the Zorgon ships began to blink with the telltale signs of surrender one by one. "It's over," Joshua said. "Softly, Maluia is safe. Syria is safe. The Zorgons have been defeated." Sirius felt a lump form in his throat, his eyes stinging with sudden emotion. In a single day, these humans had accomplished what the Galactic Council had deemed impossible. They had stood against the Zorgons and emerged victorious, not just once but twice, and they had done it with a skill and technological prowess that defied belief. AI drones, advanced shield technology, special forces trained in infiltration and sabotage. The humans wielded these tools with a mastery that spoke of a long and bloody history of conflict, but they had also shown a compassion and selflessness that belied their violent reputation. They had risked their lives, their ships, for a species they barely knew, simply because it was the right thing to do. Sirius turned to Zephyr, his voice thick with emotion. I think we may have badly misjudged these humans." As the dust settled from the monumental victories at Maluia and Zephyria, Sirius and Zephyr found themselves aboard the USS Odyssey, the gleaming flagship of the United Terran Federation. The sleek corridors and advanced technology of the human vessel were a stark contrast to the utilitarian design of their own ships. Joshua Grant greeted them warmly as they entered the conference room, flanked by a team of human specialists. "Ambassador Sirius, Zephyr, welcome aboard the Odyssey. I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Liam Nichols and Colonel Sarah Thompson." Dr. Nichols, a slender man with keen eyes, nodded in greeting. "It's a pleasure to meet you both. I've been looking forward to discussing the intricacies of our Athena AI system with you." Colonel Thompson, a muscular woman with close-cropped hair, offered a firm handshake. "And I'm eager to share some insights into the training and capabilities of our Special Forces units." As the group settled around the conference table, Dr. Nichols launched into a detailed explanation of Athena. "You see, Athena is far more than a simple computer program. She's a highly advanced self-learning system capable of analyzing and adapting to enemy tactics in real time." Sirius leaned forward, his interest peaked. "How long have you been developing this technology?" "For years," Dr. Nichols replied. "We've always known that the Zorgon or other hostile species could pose a significant threat. Athena was designed to give us an edge in any potential conflict," Colonel Thompson chimed in. "And it's not just our technology that sets us apart. Our special forces undergo rigorous training and are equipped with the most advanced gear available. They're able to operate effectively in any environment against any adversary." Zephyr, his eyes wide with admiration, asked, "How do you foster such adaptability in your military?" "Innovation and adaptability are at the core of our military doctrine," Colonel Thompson explained. "We're constantly pushing ourselves to stay ahead of potential threats. It's what allows us to respond quickly and effectively to situations like Maluia and Ziria." As the debriefing continued, Sirius and Zephyr found their respect for the humans growing with each revelation. It was becoming clear that the UTF success was not just a result of advanced technology, but also a product of their unique mindset and approach to problem-solving. Joshua, sensing their growing adoration, extended an invitation. "Ambassador Sirius, Zephyr, I'd like to invite you to visit Earth. I believe there's much you could learn from our culture and society, and fostering a strong relationship between the Galactic Council and the UTF could be key to maintaining peace and stability in the galaxy." Sirius and Zephyr exchanged a glance. "Their decision made, we would be honored to accept your invitation." Joshua, Sirius replied, "It's clear that we have much to learn from your remarkable species." As the meeting drew to a close, Sirius and Zephyr couldn't help but reflect on how their perception of humans had changed. Once dismissed as primitive and violent, the humans had proven themselves to be a force for good in the galaxy, with a level of technological prowess and strategic thinking that rivaled the most advanced civilizations. As their shuttle descended through Earth's atmosphere, Sirius and Zephyr gazed out the viewport in awe at the sprawling Rollus of New Geneva gleaming. Skyscrapers pierced the clouds, their sleek lines and graceful curves unlike anything they had seen before. Amidst the urban landscape, vibrant seas of green space wove between the buildings, trees and gardens thriving in the heart of the city. The shuttle alighted gently on a landing pad where a delegation of human leaders awaited them. President Michael Novak, a tall man with salt and pepper hair and a warm smile, stepped forward to greet them. Beside him stood Amanda Chen, the Secretary of Interstellar Relations, her dark eyes sparkling with intelligence. "Welcome to Earth, Ambassador Sirius," Zephyr. President Novak said, clasping their hands in turn. "It's an honor to host you here in New Geneva." As they walked into the city, Cyrus and Zephyr couldn't help but marvel at the technology that surrounded them. High-speed maglev trains whisper-ed passengers from one end of the city to the other in mere minutes. Holo